How you bossing? It's your girl Kaylee, aka the Boss Chick, and welcome to the corner. Last week was a chill day of just kind of venting on some past things, situations that may have been frustrating. Life happens. But this week, we are back to business. So after clearing our minds, it's back to business. I had a few things that I wanted to discuss today because it's important. Marketing is highly, highly important. And I wanted to discuss it with a few young bosses, a few bosses today. So I'm going to bring them on one by one. First, Miss Ferrente, owner of Chocolate Curves Boutique. Hey, Miss Ferrente, how you doing today?
Good evening. I am doing well, very well. Good evening, everyone.
Good, good. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, where they can find what you have.
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. And Kaylee, it's such an honor to be on your platform and to be called a boss chick. I'm originally from Greenville. Was
Yes.
born and raised in Greenville, Mississippi. So you can always find me here in Greenville, Mississippi, at my boutique shop, which is Chocolate Curve Boutique, located at 1436 Highway 1 South, Greenville, Mississippi.
Yes. I used to hear you all the time. I used to work at the post office. So my rides to work and from work, I would always get the plugs. Then I found you on social media. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. And I'm a curvy girl. I was much bigger at one point. So I was like, yes, they have things for us as well. So it's kind of hard,
Exactly.
hard, when you're a little bit thicker sometimes.
Yes, it is.
All right, next up we have Miss Tanya Franklin. Please let the people
Hello.
know where you're from.
Hello, everyone. I am in Jackson, Mississippi, and I am the owner and the brand CEO of MJS Virtual Collaborative, where we offer content writing, we offer marketing, as well as PR services for small businesses.
Helping, I love it. I love it. Love it. What's your favorite part about your job?
I love helping people to tell their story because everybody has a story. Everybody has a story to tell, and especially with women of color in the South, there are so many stigmas and myths about us in this business, and I like to be able to provide an opportunity for people to change the narrative, to be able to tell their story, to let the world know that we are bosses, and we are about our business. And I love being able to help other women business owners to make it to whatever their next success level is. I love it.
Right, right. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a lag. That's probably on my end, so I apologize. But yes, definitely, I'm for all things boss. I'm for all things of promoting people to be their best selves. I'm a graphic designer, and my biggest thing is let me help you bring your vision to life. You tell me what it is. I'm gonna do my best to make sure I execute.
Right.
Help you get it to the world, whatever message that you have. I'm also a music artist, so I know how
Okay.
important, yes, ma'am, I know how important it is to get those messages out there, get your feelings out there, whatever up here, it has to come out.
Right.
So yes, so I think this is a good topic because a lot of people struggle. A lot of people struggle, and sometimes you have to know where you've been to know where you're going, and it helps other people when they can see your story. So, back to Forense, how did your brand become what it is? Like, what was your beginning? How did Chocolate Curves come along?
Oh, good question you asked. I started Chocolate Curry Boutique out of the trunk of my car. And this is the honest God truth. I was working at the hospital at the time, which was Delta Regional. And I was juggling boutique and working a 9 to 5. And I'm talking about, I was all over Washington County, Issaquah County. I was over Milesville, Rolling Fork, Greenville, delivering out of my car,
Yes.
out of the trunk of my car. I'm telling you. And I always love clothes. I always love fashion because I always been heavy. And when we go into the different stores, we never seen us find anything that we really like. And for some reason, we always find things with flowers on them. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna get into clothing because that always been my passion. I always love clothing, always. Like I said, I was heavy, so I got into a boutique and juggling 2 jobs, 9 to 5. I'm this admissions clerk, and in the evening time, my car didn't. Oh my God, it didn't catch a break. I was all over the Dells. I'm talking about delivering from Leland, Greenwood, Cleveland, Milesville, Issaquah County, Bolivar, Ruvis, even went to South Haven and Tunica. I mean, that's how Chocolate Curve got started, out the trunk of my car. And I really was just doing it for, like, a hobby, a passion. That's just what I love to do. I never imagined walking away from my 9 to 5 job to become this successful entrepreneur that I am today. Never, never, never. I just stepped out on faith. And I said, you know what? I like this. I love this. And I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And I did it. And, when I was selling the clothes out the trunk of my car, I had them come to my house. I made my living room, my dressing room. I'm talking about people was coming in and out my house all day, night long, getting outfits. I was meeting them. I was going on to their house. And after a while, I got my first storefront. And the rest is history. Wow. And I'm still going. I'm located at 1436 Highway 1 South here in Greenwood. And I love what I do. I love my customers. I really do. I interact with so many different people. And I get people all the time say, I wish I had your type of attitude. I wish, I wouldn't, had so much low self-esteem. And I just tell them, hey, just do you. I'm me. Right. And plus, you got any type of business you do. I tell people all the time, you have to love what you do, and you have to be a people person. Period. I don't care what you're selling, what you're doing. You have to love what you do, and your customers have to know that you love serving them. You have to be a people person. I'm a people person. I am. I really am. I love people. I love what I'm doing. I really, really do. And I interact with a lot of different women. I mean, my gosh.
Definitely. And me personally, I'm working on it. I'm not so much of a people person.
I don't see myself.
I'm not good at it all the time. Being a people person, I'm not good at it all the time because sometimes
as a boss chick, right? I just consider myself as, I just love what I do, and God gives different people different visions. Sometimes, Lord, I wish I could just be this awesome chef and just cook up a feast. But God put clothes in me, and I just love fashion. I really do. I really, really do. And I'm just so happy and elated that I'm able to provide not just plus size, because I do all sizes, to my community in my town. I really do. So I love what I do. And like I said, you have to love what you do, and you have to start somewhere. And I started at the trunk of my car.
I love it.
I started at the trunk of my car, and this is the honest God truth. I started at the trunk of my car, and I took that, and that's my passion. So I just love clothes. I really do. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
I always say that you find something that doesn't feel like work, so you never feel like you're working another day in your life. So
yeah,
I like it.
And people say all the time, oh, I want to be rich. I want to be this. It's nothing wrong with being rich. You get what I'm saying? But I want generation wealth. So when I leave here, I want to leave something for my kids, my babies. I have a daughter. I want her to see what it feels like to be a boss chick, an entrepreneur, and you can make decisions about things in life.
Right.
I want to leave those legacies for my kids. So I try to get her involved with Chocolate Curve Boutique.
Okay.
She's a teenager.
Yeah.
And so she's my behind the scene TikTok person. You know, a lot of people don't know. Ferrente is really not into all that, but in this day and time, you know, you have to do what you have to do when you have a
That's right.
business.
That's
So
true.
she told
That
me,
is true.
Mom, it's 2021. This a new year. We got to do something different. I said, well, I'm up for it. She be wanting me to do all these different dances. And I'm like, I'm not, you know, I'm me. So I have to do it my own way. But I already had TikTok going on at the time, but my platform maybe was about 3,500 because I went on it that often. And when she got involved with TikTok, I have right at like 18,000 followers on TikTok. And I have gained a lot of customers off TikTok from Washington, D.C., from Hawaii, from Alaska. I'm always shipping stuff to different people in different cities and different states. So you can
reach.
Yeah, their reach, exactly. You know, and I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Snapchat, Chocolate Curd Boutique, and I'm also on Instagram. So I have all these different platforms that I'm juggling. You know,
Right.
and I try to keep up with it. You know, I try to do my best to keep up with it. But you know, sometimes that's a bit much. You know,
we're definitely going to get into the whole social media thing, especially the TikTok, because the trends go so fast on that. But I'm gonna hand it over to Miss Franklin. Miss Tanya, tell us how you started in your journey.
Well, it actually started with me not exactly getting laid off, but the job that I was working with, they were cutting back hours. And he ended up having to shut down our building. And he was like, well, you're going to have to start working from home and, you know, find you somewhere else to work. And I was actually in the process of trying to find another job anyway. And I came across this thing called virtual assisting. And I was like, what is this? Never heard of it. And I started reading some stuff and I was like, shoot, I'm doing this now. You know, I was like, I can do this, you know, for myself. And because I have so many different skill sets, I wanted to be able to have an opportunity to be able to exercise those skill sets and not be just, you know, relegated to just one particular box.
Right.
And so that's how it got started. And I actually started out because I have a degree in communications. I said, well, you know, I'm just going to just start off with just, you know, just some basic administrative and, you know, doing a little content writing. And it ended up that most of my clientele, they were coming to me on the marketing side. So I had to kind of do a shift with my business and rebrand. And in the midst of that, I was in a group. I'm not going to name the group, but I was in a group, and I'm one of those type of people, I think, outside of the box. And I was telling her about some different ideas and things that I wanted to do with my business. And she told me, she said, you'll never be able to do that. You know, yeah, that's what she told me. She says, nobody does that virtually. You'll never be able to do that. And I didn't get upset. I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to show not only her, but myself that it can be done.
Right.
And because my first passion is marketing and PR, I decided to go back to my roots. And that's how I started to build the brand that I have now. So as of like 2017, I ended up rebranding again, and I added my PR component to my brand and also consulting. So that's how I got here. That's how I got here.
Sometimes it's like that. Like you never expect it. Like you said, you never expected to be where you are now just based off selling clothes out of your car. You never expected that your hours would be decreased, and you know you're already doing something and it turns into something. I think there relates highly to me as well. I'm gonna bring Miss Shanti on. Shanti, please let the people know where you're from, what you do, and how you got your start. And I think you're on mute.
Hi, everybody. I've been having technical difficulties. I'm trying to get onto the laptop and off the phone. It
No
seems like as
problem.
soon as you're trying to do something important, that's when devilish
Mm-hmm.
functions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I think I got you. There we go.
Oh, all right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So yeah.
All right.
Let the
All
people
right.
know who you
Um,
are, where you from.
okay. Originally, I'm Shantae, or Shanti, doesn't matter which one. I'm originally from the Bronx. Moved to Maryland back in '94, fresh out of high school.
Okay.
Didn't have a sense of direction back then. It was, hard for me to get out of school. I did an extra year of high school. So anyway, fast forward, have 4 children. Ended up being a stay-at-home mom because they all got special needs.
Okay.
So like working outside the home was out of the question. Um, a friend of mine had told me about paparazzi, which I had never heard of, till she
Right.
introduced me back in 2019. Now, fast forward again, majority of my kids are teenagers. I mean, they still have their issues, but okay, I need something to do,
Right.
outside of them because they're growing and changing and, becoming a bit more independent. Retail, the way that we do it with paparazzi is totally different than when you're in a store. So, of course, I was, definitely outside my comfort zone, but I was ready to do something more. So I kind of had to feel my way around it. If I look at the person I was now and then, two different people, because I got it now. So basically, I sell affordable $5 jewelry. Um, Also, it's upscale pieces that go up to like 25. So basically, that's what I do. I just did an event this past weekend, and this is actually my second interview live on Facebook.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
yeah,
thought you had did more.
no, no, no. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay. Do
Yeah, I
that.
did it I think last Thursday or last Friday. But anyway, yeah, that's what I do. I'm working on some other stuff too. Um, but as far as I'm trying to answer your questions, uh, yeah, still building clientele.
Okay.
Um, Actually, one of my customers was right across the street from me. Um, yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. I
Yeah,
think you answered
I
it
mean,
pretty
it's
well. You were looking for something to do, and now you're in your groove because I know I've purchased from you. This is my second purchase, and I'm waiting. I can't wait to see the new pieces. I love how you go live to actually show the pieces and how how that they will look, and you get to talk to the people and just engage. So that's definitely a good thing, especially in this era. And we'll definitely get into social media and things like that. Shout out to my cousin AR Crown, the manifestation. He will be coming soon with his line and all of the productions that he has going on in Augusta, Georgia. So as business women, I know that we know how it is to we've had our highs, we've had our lows. I guess I should tell my story how I got into graphic design. I went to school for interdisciplinary studies. I majored in um journalism, business, and music industry. So music has always been in me. So that's why we are streaming from my music channel. But I would say after 2014, I went through a breakup, and you know how you're up late at night, y- your mind is going kind of crazy. Only thing that calmed me down was actually being on my computer creating something. And I'm a creative. I've always been hands on with something, and I'm just creating. I'm doing different stuff. And after a while, I'm like, I'm actually pretty good at this. So I reached out to some of the DJs that are now I get to call them my DJs. I reached out to them like, hey, let me do this for you for, just as I'm working on my samples, let me do this for you. And the very first person who actually said, okay, was DJ Drop. So he gave me a shot when nobody else, was really looking for anything. And that started me. And I went back to school for it. And it's what it is now. I just obtained my first 360 client, meaning I'm her brand manager, all of her social media content, and she asked me also to be her manager. Shout out to Latoya Speaks. She's a singer, she's a writer, she is a prophet. We're doing some major things. So she's my 360 client, and I'm so thankful that she allowed me to do that for her. But I never thought that I would be into graphic design because, hey, I wanted to be into music. I wanted to just focus solely being in the background. And this is just another extension that kind of gels with music and business because I would like to brand music clients as well. So, like I said, I was at a low, and now I'm working on the highs. Yeah. So I can say that we probably all experience the highs and lows, and I call those like marketing woes sometimes because when you're beginning, you don't know exactly what to do. You're trying to figure it out, fill it out. So that brings me to my next question. Like for you, um, where did your marketing woes come in? Where did they bring it? Um we'll start with Rente.
My marketing woes.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about marketing, first of all, I tell people all the time, you have to find your target audience.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find your target audience, you just go from there, list your type of services that you offer. And I tell people all the time, when you're thinking about marketing and advertising, like me, I'm one band, one woman, one team, one sound. I do everything when it comes to my business, marketing, advertising. I model the clothes, and I also have models too, and I love my models dearly because they always sharing and um, sharing the posts, statuses, just the word of mouth. But when you're thinking about marketing, you always got to think about outside of the box when you're thinking about marketing. You also got to be consistent because, people, you got a lot of things going on. And what a lot of people don't know about Chocolate Curve is not only just I do chocolate curve, I have a whole another business.
Really?
Yes, I own a daycare center. See,
Okay.
a lot of people don't know that because I graduated from Mississippi Valley State University, and I got my bachelor's degree in early childhood education. So, I'm chocolate curve. I'm education. I was worked in the school
Right.
system. I worked in the hospital. But like I said, a lot of people don't know. I'm juggling 2 jobs. I have a daycare center and I have this boutique. So even with that business, even with this business, you just got the market. Me, I'm always thinking outside the box to target my audience to get it out there so people know who I am. And a lot of people get discouraged and stuff when you're thinking about posting. They see you posting or whatever. That doesn't mean they're going to like it or whatever. But you still have to just keep being consistent, target your audience. And I tell people all the time, like me, I have taken a lot of different business classes, and I had different mentorship classes and everything to level up on my business stuff. I'm always trying to find the next factor to take me there with my business. So when you're dealing with marketing woes, you just have to keep being consistent, and also they have a thing like on Instagram, like when you post a different ad or a different story or whatever, a different picture, you can also go in that and pull up your analysis, and it'll tell you what post, what picture, what video is doing the most, and you get more views and more audience attention. So
Right.
that's another marketing woe. So when you're thinking about marketing, advertising, it's a lot of things you can do. Your website is one. That's one marketing.
Okay.
Word of mouth, Facebook, uh, Instagram, Snapchat, all type of social media platforms. When you're thinking about marketing, radio ads, all that. Anything to do to get your business out there, because you got to think about, we all got to start somewhere.
Right.
We just got to start somewhere. And I tell people, never to give up. I'm this, young lady from Greenwood, Mississippi. I love my town. I love my city, and there's nothing I wouldn't do. And I help anyone that have a business, want to start a business, and don't know, how to go. Because I tell people all the time, somebody help me. I didn't just wake up one day and I just knew all this.
Right.
I had to take a lot of L's to get to the W's. A lot of L's.
That's definitely for sure.
And I'm still growing. I'm still growing. Still growing. So
right. Okay, so what's your favorite marketing platform and your least favorite at the moment?
My favorite platform right now will be, I'm on Facebook a lot, but I choose TikTok, because you'd be amazed with TikTok. I'm just telling you, you'd be amazed. I mean, sometimes when I post a video or a picture or a story or whatever, I'd be just amazed, like, oh my God, I done got 29K, 100K views. I mean, so I'll say TikTok. I love all the social media platforms, but I'll say TikTok is my favorite. Instagram would be my third favorite, and Facebook would be my second.
Okay.
So I'm juggling all of them.
Right.
Big much to deal with all these different social media platforms. Is a bit much, and you have to keep up, and you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah,
it's a bit much when you deal with everyday life and you got everything going on. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit much. So when you're thinking about marketing, you have to post. It doesn't matter what type of business you have to post consistently. Sometimes in the middle of the night, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up posting.
I've started to utilize my scheduling on my my fan pages, and it links to my Instagram, so that's definitely helpful in the consistency area.
Yes.
Tanya, what about you? What marketing woes did you deal with at the beginning and have overcome now?
I would say at the beginning, it was definitely understanding who my audience was. Because I had this idea that, okay, my thing is that I want to be able to help small business owners, but that became so overwhelming. And I've heard people say this a lot of times, that sometimes you can try to help everybody and end up helping nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was where I was, because I was trying to help everybody. And so I had to learn how to niche down. And even with all of the rebranding processes that I'm going through, even now, I'm still steady niching down. And I think that now, compared to now, some of the things that I've learned is that it's okay to start over. And because when you start over, you're taking the lessons that you've learned from the failures and you're applying them so that you can be better.
Exactly.
So, I used to be big on this thing about failing and messing up, but now it's like I'm looking at it as an opportunity to learn. And I think that a lot of small business owners that I come in contact with is that they have not gotten to the point to where they're okay with failing.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like, well, I have to have it all together. And sometimes I call it the Black woman syndrome, but and there's nothing wrong with us, because a lot of times we are put in the position where everything falls on us.
Right.
And so, but we have to learn how to reach balance. So I think now the marketing role that I have right now, and you actually had touched on it, was the consistency, because I have I'm doing everybody else's social media while mine is falling through the cracks.
Mm.
I'm helping to build everybody else's Facebook pages looking good, and mine I hadn't posted in like 3-4 months, and
Not good.
and so I made a decision. The first part of this year that I was going to hire myself as my own client,
Mm.
because I'm like, that's crazy that, I compared one of my clients' social media platforms to mine. And I was like, if I didn't know me, I wouldn't hire me if I was looking at my platform, because I pour 110% into my client's work, but mine tends to go lacking. So I'm trying to get better at making sure that I'm scheduling to plan my content and make sure that I'm, getting things ready. So that's kind of like where I am right now, is that I've got to scale back and make time for me and my brand, and still be able to take care of my clients as well.
Right. And I'm gonna label that as a part of self-care. Because
Okay.
if you're not okay, if you're not looking okay, if you're the face of your brand. If it's not good, then they're probably not gonna think it's good. So I
Right.
agree, because I'm like that myself as a designer, and I'm working on websites and things like that. I'm like, everybody else is taking care of. I don't know how to do for me. Like, when it comes to ideas for me, it never populates as
Right.
quickly as from somebody else. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to sit down and just do it. And that's how my website portfolio came about. So I totally get it. I draw blanks when it comes to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Shanti, what about you? Marketing woes that you're facing, how you're working through them.
Okay, I get it. Oh, okay, there we go. In the beginning, yeah, it wouldn't. I couldn't get it to unmute. Oh, in the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing, so it was a really slow crawl. Um,
Right,
yeah, it was a really slow crawl because I had no idea. But I was just trying different things to see what worked. I'm much better at it, now. Like I didn't have like 10 customers. I might have had like two or three back then. And my consistency wasn't as, good as it is now because I was kind of struggling with some other stuff and dealing with my household and, the place I was living. And then I couldn't really put too much into it financially because I was kind of like, drowning in bills. But um I put myself in a better situation, so things are improving. Um, and with the type of business that I do, it kind of ebbs and flows as far as how much you're going to make. Is
right,
it's not necessarily a set amount. It depends on you know what's going on in your life as far as how you push your brand, how you promote
right,
yourself. And sometimes people just don't have it. Because jewelry's not a priority like that, as far as what people have to do in their life, and I get that. But I do have loyal customers, and I make sure that when I do my lives, I post them. I keep them up for about 30 days. Sometimes I keep them on there indefinitely, and I'll just people will randomly be in my inbox like, I seen this, and then they'll screenshot and then send me, you still have that?
right,
So, it's kind of, and then I do wall drops. I haven't been going live as much because I've been dealing with some personal stuff, but I still try to make sure I push myself in other ways. So I do wall drops. I always tell everybody you can shop my lives. I also will put my website up and you can shop my website, which is 365. So I push myself in other ways so people still know that that I'm still here and I didn't forget about them. And it's about the relationships you build with people. But, a lot of my customers I've known from childhood, I've known through my adult life, and then some are new. Um, And I think the reason that, I'm doing better is because I'm not fake. You have to be authentic and sincere. It's just like the stuff that you buy, how companies come across, that matters.
That's true.
So I don't necessarily have the woes I started out with, because I was kind of like a toddler learning how to walk with this. Before I was doing that, and before I stopped working, I taught private preschool. I worked for Head Start,
Okay.
a Girl Scout leader for 6 years. Work with the kids, but Girl Scouting I still kind of sort of want to do, but I'm trying to work on some other stuff for new business. So I don't know if I can swing that. But like, I knew I had no desire to go back to doing daycare or or
Okay.
or preschool. It just didn't call to my heart anymore. Not necessarily anything to do with children, but it was just a lot of stuff that people don't see behind the scenes that I was just like, no,
Now
I'm
that's
not.
definitely true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not willing to do that for pocket change when I could just work for myself. So, I got some other stuff in the works, not gonna stop selling the jewelry because I actually love it. I'm wearing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta sell yourself too. It's all about selling yourself. And you gotta love what you're doing. And this is fun to me. I did an event last week and I didn't make that much, but I didn't care. I was out about and in the public, because when COVID hit, it kind of shut my business down. Nobody's buying jewelry because they're not going anywhere.
Right.
They weren't, too much doing anything. So back in April, I got started. My one of my best friends is my upline. So, she got me started. I didn't really have any jewelry. So she donated like a third of her inventory, gave me boards, got me restarted and all of that. And then I pretty much took off from there.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So that does bring me to another question as far as resources and the funding for those particular resources. Anybody can jump in and say what they need to. For those people who I want to start, but I don't quite have it, how do you get that first set of funding for it, or how did you go about with like business credit and things like that, because that can be a part of the marketing woes too, because you have to have the product on hand, you have to be able to pay this amount, especially now with social media. You have, if you want to run certain ads, you have to pay for that. If you want to be on the radio, you have to pay for it. So
Right.
if they don't have that initial funding, what would you suggest that they start with? Anybody?
I'll go. I get asked this question all the time. People ask me about how you get started and how you get funded. And I tell them, well, when I started with boutique, I didn't get any funding from anywhere, no banks, no loans, none of that. I just, um, was just fortunate enough and was blessed that I was able to dibble and dab with, a little of my savings. And, when you start in a business, it doesn't matter what type of business you start, you don't need much money. And I tell people all the time, you can use other people's money, OPM, and they'd be like, what is that? Well, for one, say for instance, like if you have a credit card or something like that, if you have a credit
Mhm.
card, you can take $200-$300, and buy something, because like for boutique, they're really not giving any type of funding for boutiques unless you're going to like the bank or a lender, and me, when I first started out, I knew I didn't want to do that. I didn't want no loans from the bank because I'm starting out. You get what I'm saying? The
Right.
banks and the lender don't care nothing about that you hadn't made any sales this week or this month. That's a payment that you got to pay, regardless if you got sales or not. So you can only take just a little money. Now, don't get me wrong, they got resources out there. You can go to your bank, you can go to your credit union or something like that to get funding. But when you talking about selling and becoming an entrepreneur because you're stepping out, you don't need much money, much money at all. That's how I got started. I had no loans, no resources of that nature. You know, a lot of people ask me all the time, what resources did you have? I say, no loans, none of that at all. And I tell people to stay away from loans, you know, when you in business, especially when you starting out, because like I say, that's a bill that you have to pay. Regardless if you got any type of sales at all, that's a bill that you got to make every month. So when you get ready to make money, all you need to do just reinvest that in your business. If you only made $100, you've only made $50. I tell people all the time, you'll be amazed what you can do with $102 and $300 in any type of business. You know, you don't have to start out buying all this merchandise. Just start off with a small quantity. That's all you need. Just a small quantity. And just take that and just sell it whatever price you think is reasonable, because you got to make a profit off of it. You know, that's the thing. You can't give it away. And you have some people that, you know, some people going to buy what they want to buy. Your price is your price. It is what it is, you know. Either you want it or you don't want it.
Or you don't. I just made a post about that earlier today. People like my designs but don't like the price.
Right. You got to pay.
That's a you problem.
You got to pay. And I tell people all the time, especially plus size clothing is not cheap. By the time they package it and box it up and tape it up and put the shipping label on there to you, and they call you with your shipping price, a lot of people really don't go into plus size because plus is really expensive, because when you're dealing with shipping and you know, so when you're dealing with that and whatever, your price is your price, you know. So like I say, when you want to be in any type of business, you know, you don't need that much money. You know, I always get business proposals and stuff. You know, I even had somebody ask me a long time ago, you know, paparazzi jewelry, and I'm glad she spoke of it, was popping back in the day. You know, it was jumping. Everybody was doing paparazzi jewels, but I knew that's nothing that I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to, at one time I was thinking about doing it or whatever, but I decided, no, that's not what I'm doing. But it still was an investment. You didn't even need that much money to even start that type of business. So any type of business that you do, you really don't need a whole lot of money, because you really don't want, the whole idea is you don't want to make any debts starting out. You really don't. You really don't. And I tell people all the time, stay away from getting loans. You know, they good, you know, but you got to think about, you're going to have some slow days. You really is. This going to be some slow days. And regardless of the fact if you had any sales or sold anything, that's a bill that you have to pay monthly. Right. So stay away from loans. You know, stay away from loans. If you got a credit card, you'll do better off, you know, hey, buying something off, you know,
off your credit.
Off your credit card. Yeah.
That's me and my mom always say that if you're going to use your credit card, use that same amount. Don't go over that specific amount and reuse it. So I'm all for the reusing of the resources. I did get into the whole dress and outfit market when I first came back. I used to stay in Memphis, and I came back. I bought a whole bunch of dresses and two-piece outfits, and what I made off of that, I went ahead and spent half of it back for a second set. So that's how I was doing it. But I don't know. We might bring that back. We might not. We'll see how that goes. Tanya, how about you? What other resources would you recommend for new people trying to?
Well, I tell people all the time that I'm the queen of free, and I am always researching for different resources that are free. And the benefit of being in a technological world, you're going to find a lot of free options. So I take advantage of a lot of like free apps, free groups. There's also something that I got into some years ago when I was working for a nonprofit organization, was crowdfunding. Okay. And I think a lot of people sleep on crowdfunding because they really don't know what it is and how it can be beneficial. And really what it is because if you're already developing your brand, you're already building your business, you already have a plan, you know, that's kind of like the B side of having a sponsor is with crowdfunding.
Oh, you speaking on something really look, you speaking on something really nice here,
Yeah, so
because
I
I have questions for
actually
you
I
afterwards.
actually went and got certified in that because I had a potential client that was living in Italy, and he needed someone to help him with a crowdfunding proposal. And of course, I didn't know what that was. I had no idea what it was. But I said, I'm going to learn and find out what it is. And so I took this training, and I was like, what? I'm like, I've been doing this all along and didn't know what this was. I've been doing this for other people. And so I said, I'm going to go ahead and get certified in crowdfunding. And a lot of times people think that you have to put forth so much money in order for people to invest in you. And when you follow the certain particular principles, crowdfunding can be very beneficial to your business, and especially if you're starting out, if you are like a small boutique business, and you're like in the fashion industry, like the ladies that are also on this panel. Crowdfunding can also be beneficial from that standpoint. I have to agree with what Ferenti said earlier about it doesn't take a lot of money to get started. And even if you feel like, I'm just living from paycheck to paycheck, like she said earlier, reinvest some of your own personal money. Start reinvesting it. That was some of the things that I did. Sometimes I would set aside $20 here, I would set aside $30 here. I would say, okay, I need this type of equipment, I need these apps, I need to be able to have this type of certification to be able to do this. And so I started setting just a little money aside, and then started to invest in that. And so those are some of the resources. Finding free versions. Finding free versions of things. Trust me, they are out there. They are available for us to use. And then once you've mastered that and you've been able to benefit and harvest from it, guess what? Then you can start investing to the next level. You You guys mentioned about the credit cards. Yeah, get you a credit card that's specifically for your business. Do not decide that you want to go to Miami and have a girls trip with that credit card. Be intentional. And one of the ladies said that earlier, be intentional. And that's one of the things that I drive that. Be intentional about what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. Start small. And there's nothing wrong with starting small. It doesn't make you any less of a boss chick if you got to start small. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody that's a Fortune 500 company, they had to start small.
That's true. And what you mentioned earlier, that you sometimes call it the Black women syndrome. A lot of people will say, it's not done yet, so I'm not going to release anything. If you keep thinking that way, it's never going to be exactly,
right.
Perfect. You got to start somewhere.
That's right.
Start somewhere.
That's right. I totally agree 100%.
Always start over.
Indeed. And Ferenti's testimony speaks to that. You have to start somewhere. And when you start somewhere, don't stop. Don't stop. And I used to be a part of this group, and one of the admins, she had this idea that she said that when she first started her business, she created this thing called a success jar. And she was saying, like, the first 3 years of your business are so critical and crucial because you are going to have some oops upside your head moments. You're going to have some aha moments. And you're going to have some why in the world did I do that type of moments. And so those, how you respond to those moments is going to determine on if you're going to make it to year 4. If you're going to be able to succeed and push through to year 5, year 6, and year 7. And so even the small things, when I was able to afford a new laptop, I wrote on a sheet of paper and I said I was able to get my first laptop for my business, and I put it in that success jar. At the end of the year, I poured out all of those little slips of paper when I had a client that was losing her mind and was trying to just have me go crazy in my business to say I give up. And I sat there and I looked at all of those little slips of paper. And that's a resource, because not only is that reinvesting in your passion, but it's also reinvesting in your why. And
Yes.
that's just as valuable as money. Because if you don't have your why, you can have all the money, all the capital, and your business will not move.
That's true.
Your business will not move. So we have to expand our understanding and our thinking about what resources are, and be able to take even the small, the little bit, and so that we can allow that to be magnified. Because trust me, there are ways out here. I totally agree 1000%. Please don't get a loan unless you have a plan on being able to pay that loan back. Don't sit there and get that loan and say, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to go out here and I'm getting ready to go buy me a new car and put it in my business name. And I don't even have my state paperwork yet. And I'm getting ready to, me and my boyfriend, we getting ready to go such and such. We getting ready to go to Cancun. And then 2 months later, you sit there looking crazy because you don't even have the money to be able to pay on this loan for this vehicle.
Ooh, ooh.
Have a plan. If you're going to borrow money, have a plan. If that plan is shaky, don't borrow. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes.
There are other
Yes.
ways that you can get money to invest in your business.
Right. And I agree that crowdfunding is definitely one way to go. I've heard a lot about it, especially being in the music sector. Actually, like I said, I'm gonna need to talk to you once this is once this is over. But definitely the resources free, like you said, try to figure out ways to utilize what you already have.
That's right.
Those people who are working the 9 to 5s, take some of that and invest in yourself. Do
That's
what you
right.
can. And I firmly believe that if you have a tight circle that believes in you, they won't mind helping when they can in some kind of way. And I love the jar that you said. Sometimes you need that pick me up, because you get down and be like, I can't do this, I'm
Right.
gonna quit. And that'll be just a kick in the pants, like, girl, you got it. You got it. So I definitely agree. Successful marketing is what I want to focus on now with social media. Um Shanti, what is something that you did then that you aren't doing now? Like, what's working for you now, like mainly with the social media?
The fact that people shot my lives, my past lives, because a lot of the times when I get on, I try to pick a time where everybody's home or most people are home. And if they're not, they tend to just go back and watch the lives. And I constantly, and I share. I share not just on my page, my personal page, but I share in groups. So that keeps me going. Whereas I didn't really know to do that
Okay.
back in 2019, too tough. I was just trying to get a feel for it. This was a whole new world for me.
Right. I get you, because like I said, I'm a quiet person. I've struggled with using my voice. I think I've said this plenty of times on some of my lives. But when the pandemic hit and I got into vlogging on YouTube and doing podcasts with my mom, it became a little therapeutic. So that opened me up to start talking to people and being able to sort of pitch myself to people. So that brings us to this now, my comfort ability to actually reach out to people, and that's word of mouth, about your brand. What are some other things? I know I get kind of bogged down when it comes to, let's say, I'm going to take it to the music side of this now. As far as like a music project that I'm having, I know to post, my artwork, you know maybe lives of behind the scenes and things like that. But sometimes it doesn't cause as much traction or buzz as I would like. What are some buzz and trends that you see now with different brands? What about you, Frente?
With different trends. Well, you know, in this day, there's so many different trendy, different things you can do to upscale your business. Like for me, I say that my videos that I do is more trends for me versus me posting because I post all day long, like I say, constantly. But when it's just something about when I post videos, it reaches a lot of different views, especially on my story on Facebook and on Instagram. So, like I said, when you're dealing with business, it's different trendy styles you can do, but you also have to be consistent, you know, just consistent.
Cons-
That is the
oh,
key. You got to be consistent marketing. And you don't have to
consistent.
go out here spending a whole lot of money because you got to think about it. When you're in business, you always got people at you to find ways to get money from you. You know, it could be from radio ads, it can be from flyers or whatever. So you have to be real cautious about that. You know, like I say, I pretty much do all my stuff myself. Um, So when you're dealing with trendy styles, it's different ways, different trends you can do, but anything you do, any type of business, you have to be consistent. That's the key, consistent. You know, you can't have a business and you post it every 3, 4 months.
Right.
that, that don't mix. That don't work because you got to keep. The thing is, you have to keep your audience and then move on to somebody else. That's just like me. I get bored doing the same old thing all the time. So I try to do different things with my business to upscale and level it up. Like I say, I love doing different type of videos because people they watching, they see. It's not about likes anymore, you know. And just post, keep posting, and then you also have to find what works for you. You know, you can't worry about what the next person doing and how they getting their stuff out there. You just got to focus on you, focus on your brand because you got to think about this your brand, this your baby. You know, and like Miss Tanya
Mhm.
was saying, when you in business, she hit it. I totally agree. Your first 3 years gonna make or break you. That's gonna let you know if you up for the job. You got a lot of people start business, and some of them don't be successful, and they don't last long. In your first 3 years you in business, you're gonna see money going in and out the door. You really are. But you're not gonna profit anything to probably year 6 or year 5. And it's the honor God truth because I've been doing this for a while. So you have to be consistent. You can't go out here ball on all these trips, going to
Right.
Vegas, going to Miami, you know, invest in your business. You know, if you need a laptop, buy a laptop. You know, when I first started, I'm telling you, when I first started, I didn't really have any marketing. I just stepped out there, just was doing it. You know, I was just doing it. You know, a lot of things I did not know. I just was doing it. And I said, you know what? I love what I'm doing. I'm very successful what I'm doing. Let me sign up for some different type of business class or whatever. You know, let me if I'm passionate about what I'm doing and I love what I'm doing, let me do what I got to do when it comes to my business. So,
Right.
you know, it's nothing this is my baby. Chocolate Curl, this is my baby. This is my baby. And it started at the trunk of my car. And
Yes.
like I say, my first, like I say, my first 3, 4 years was a lot of bumps on the road. It really was because I was juggling another job and I was doing this. So when you're thinking about your business, it's your baby. You have to do what it takes to make your business successful. And it's gonna make or break it. You're gonna have some, like Miss Tanya said, you're gonna have some times like, oh why? Why did I do this? Oh why? But that comes with business. That just comes with
Right.
any type of job. It's just like going on a job, 9 to 5. You either gonna love it or you're gonna either hate it.
Right.
And if you hate it, you ain't gonna last. You gotta find something else. You know,
I I agree. I agree.
Yes. I never imagined walking away from my job. I never imagined. Never. And to be successful, to have two business, you know, I can't do nothing but thank God. Because I tell people all the time when they see me, I say, we all here on borrowed time. We are. And I'm doing this. God, I have to give the praises to him because I could have been out of
Yes.
business by now.
Yes.
And you have to love what you do. You have to be passionate what you do. And you have to have customer service. I see so many people have business and have no customer
Ooh.
service skills.
Ooh.
Period. You just can't be nasty. You can't in this type of business. You your own entrepreneur. You have to sell yourself. You cannot be nasty and mean to these people because these are the folks you want to support you. You
That's
want them
true.
to keep coming back. You want them to keep spending money with you. And you
Yeah.
have to have customer service skills. Have to. That's a must. That's a must on any type of business you have. Customer service skills.
Right.
You just have to have
I
it.
touched on that a little bit in I think my second live with the young man,
Mhm.
and we were talking about brand respect. People have to respect your brand, and it starts with you, with the way that you communicate with them, and just your overall presence and the image that you're giving off to them. Like you said, Shanti, you have to be
Mhm.
authentic and kind. I think those are the keys.
That's a must. That's a must. If you want people to support you, you just have to do that. Because you're providing a service. You know,
Right.
and this is what you want to do. You just got to do what you got to do. You're not gonna say when you have any type of business, you just have to do what you have to do and provide good customer service skills. You have to, because we go in different stores, and I go in different stores all the time, and sometimes, because the cashier, somebody may be having a bad day, but this is your job. You have to
Yeah.
leave whatever you got going on at the door. I ain't saying
Yeah.
don't pick it back up when you leave out, because you're providing a service, and people see, people watch, and
Yeah,
so,
you can definitely feel
mhm,
people's energy.
right.
So
I swear. And sometimes if I go somewhere, I say, "Oh, I wouldn't have her for nothing in the world," because you have to be a people person, and you got to provide good customer service. I'm telling you, if you don't provide that, you're not gonna last in no type of business that you have. You're not gonna last. Period.
agreed. Agreed. Um, I will ask Miss Tanya, what about you? What is a moment that you've had that says, okay, I've gotten from this low point, now I'm at the high. So what point was that? What situation was that for you that say, hey, I'm on the right track?
Oh wow. Um, I guess one of the moments I would have to say is actually my first client. My first client. I really didn't know at that particular time on how to market myself. And so I was pretty much just applying for jobs, really. That was the type of mentality that I still had at the time. And I had reached out to this nonprofit organization, and they needed someone to do some content for them. And I was like, I'm just going to just step out here. I don't know if these people are going to reach back out to me. And when I received an email from them, and I sent my proposal over to them, and they accepted the proposal and signed the contract, that was that moment where I was like, yes, this is it. This is it. And I have learned so much over the years on how to position myself when when I'm showing up. And to be honest, I'm still learning, because as we grow in business, you should grow. Let me put it like that. You should grow in business all of the time. No one has ever fully arrived. We're still growing, we're still learning, because our world is evolving and it's changing constantly. I mean, even with the like the last 2 years, you were talking about trends. One of the trends now is like most people now doing virtual events more than they ever were 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago, people were not so heavy on virtual events. Now that's like, a top thing now because of the pandemic,
Right.
because of things that have changed in our society. So even in those type of situations, you have to still find those little moments where it's like, you know what, I'm growing. And when you're growing, that's a moment to say, I'm being successful. I'm succeeding because I'm growing. I know people who have been in business for years that have been coaches and all of that. And some of the same things that they were doing 5 years ago, in 2021, they still doing those same things.
Oh, you definitely have to be able to adapt to the things that are going on. You have to adapt with the times. So
Exactly. I agree with that. And I just wanted to just add that even when Shanti was talking about even her growth process, let me tell you something. When you can tell a person that is growing, you can tell, because some of the things that they were doing 2-3 years ago in their business, they're not going to be doing those same things now. They won't be doing those same things. And so I count that as successful. I count that as successful marketing. Marketing is about researching. I call it the courting stage. And I'm old, y'all. So yeah, I still believe in courting and dating.
I believe in it too.
So, marketing is actually the dating stage in the buying and sales process with your customers. And a lot of times people skip that part. They don't want to date. They don't, and especially now, you need social security number. You need to do background checks on these folks. You need to find out about they past relationships. You need to find out about their mama and grandmama and whoever else is crazy in their family. You have to research these people, because when you hook up with them, what they showing you on the date may not be what's behind the scene 2 years from now. You get in a relationship with them. Hello. So, marketing is that dating stage where you're getting to know your audience. You're getting to know the things that they like. You're getting to know what they don't like. You're getting to know the things that they have issues with. You guys were talking earlier about the clothes, about not having a good selection that's flattering for full figure women.
Right.
Because all full figure women don't want to walk around in flowers.
What you said, true.
They want to wear the pinstripe. They want the snatch waist jackets.
I'd much rather the cheetah print.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about that courting. It's about dating your audience and finding out what it is that they like. What's available, finding out about how much money that they have. Because if you have high ticket items, just like Shanti was talking about, the high end items that's $25. Now everybody pretty much knows that the brand statement of paparazzi is the $5 jewelry. But then she understands that, hey, I have an opportunity to expand my clientele and show them and say, hey, I also have high-end pieces as well. That's because she has learned how to date her audience. She has learned to date her audience and realize, like, okay, I got my people that's, they the 2-piece in a biscuit, yeah. But I also have my people that's on that, that filet mignon.
Exactly.
And so not only am I only being in a relationship and building on that relationship with my 2-piece and a biscuit, because ain't nothing wrong with it, because you're still getting fed. But I also am expanding and letting people know that, hey, I'm versatile. I'm diverse, and I'm available to help also and feed the people that's the filet mignon. So you have, when you start seeing a person that is growing, that is successful. That's when you start seeing a successful person. When you start seeing that, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the same people that saw you 3-4 years ago, and now that they see you now, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. It's something different about her now.
Mm-hmm.
It's something totally different about her. I mean, she not carrying herself the way she was before. Even the way that she thinks, the way that she speaks, how she articulates herself is different. It's different. Even in her business, how she talks about her business. Every woman on this panel tonight, I have heard so much passion that you have given about your business. And I'm gonna tell you, when you first started out, you ain't got all that kind of passion because you are in a place where you like, look, I'm busted, I'm disgusted, I'm fed up, I'm dealing with so much craziness and crap in my life. I just need a way of escape. Versus now, it's like I'm in love with this thing. Let me tell you about my business, because my business is my main boo now. When at
Yes.
first it was just my emergency line. And so you can tell the difference. You can see the growth. That right there, that's successful marketing. That's successful marketing.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
I'm not saying. Yes.
If she ain't talk that talk today, she talked that talk today.
Just the things I've lived, y'all.
Hey, I'm soaking in all of this because, like I said, as a person who struggles with trying to get out and talking to people and networking, this is kind of new to me, and especially on social media at that. I'm trying to utilize surveys and polls and different things on my stories, pictures, things, because I know people are visual. Being a graphic
Right.
designer, I know that people are visual, but sometimes I feel like they still don't see because you can see who's watching. But how do you actually get them to respond to some of this?
Well, like you said, you can do something. Your surveys are really good to put up on your story. Ask questions. You can even do like a diagram chart. The internet and social media is so broad now. It's things different. It's so much you can do, and you can definitely analyze charts and graphs especially on Facebook and Instagram. You can put up even polls, vote polls, and like I say, you can do that. You can do that on Facebook, or even also like on your website. When they come to your website, you can put up Q&A. Especially on Instagram, they have a lot of Q&A going on.
Yeah,
where
interactive things, and I like that feature.
Right. Yeah, I love that feature. You can do that. So yeah, just keep up the great work.
Thank you. I think it's all about tricking the algorithm. Trick it. So
that is the trick. That is the trick. Another thing that you can also do is trending topics. Something that's always going on social media. And because I'm in PR, I have to stay on top of a lot of the crazy stuff that's going on. And folks love to give their opinion. So a way to do that, there was some years ago, there was a situation that was going on with a social media influencer. And what I did was I just posted the question, and I was like, if this person had a publicist, what are some of the things you think that their publicist should have done? X, Y, and Z. And then that got the conversation going to where I started sharing some things from my viewpoint as a publicist. So trending topics, some of the crazy stuff that we see going on, folks doing stupid stuff, those are conversation starters. And you can interject your own expertise in it. Just like recently with the what was the thing? The Met. What was that?
The Met Gala.
Yeah, the Met Gala. I mean, y'all are in fashion. Those are conversational pieces, and so people love to give their opinion. And I think though, that's another good tool, another way to also spark engagement.
Right. I agree. It's just the trends sometimes go a little quick. I'm gonna take it to TikTok for a second. I'm just getting I'm just getting the hang of it. But like I said, by the time I learn a routine, it's probably already gone. Don't mean I'm not gonna post it. Don't mean I'm not gonna post it, but but the trends go so quick. These kids can dance real quick. I gotta learn it. I gotta feel like I look okay doing it. So,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta have my baby help me with TikTok. Cause she said,
Yeah.
"Mom, if you don't start posting something soon, you're gonna lose followers." My
Mm-hmm.
11-year-old, she's a TikTok
Right.
fanatic. She's my social butterfly. You've seen her. You've seen her,
mhm.
Chris. Pop in. She's not shy.
Yes,
You've
she's
seen her
not shy
pop in
at
on our
all. She's
videos.
like, hey.
Yeah, she's my biggest supporter of this business. She's helped me sell at my first vending event I did the Christmas before right before the pandemic.
Mm,
So I'm gonna get her to help me tomorrow because I got TikTok, but I'm just I'm just watching stuff. She's like, "No, mom, I'm gonna help you get this together." So
yes,
and
shout
she's
out to
11.
y'all too for having y'all assistants to get on it. Y'all got built-in assistants. You and
That's
parental.
right.
Mhm.
I need to go snatch one of my cousins or my nieces and nephews up and like, here you go, handle this.
That's right.
Because
And these beautiful
Paparazzi has a
assistants, they
jewelry
do not
line,
do it
and
for free.
when I got ordered a jewelry line, she wants to
Right.
sell the kids jewelry. She's like, "Ma, I got this. You just order it."
Okay.
And I got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I'm surprised she
So,
didn't pop her little big head in here now because they don't have school tomorrow.
sounds like you got a boss chick on your hands too.
Right.
Right, exactly.
All right. Well, I didn't want to
Absolutely.
keep you guys too long, but I did want to ask one more question. Now moving forward, like, are you looking at your goals from the beginning to now? I'm gonna start with Forense. Where are you with your goals, and where do you see yourself going with it with Chocolate Curse Boutique?
Where I see myself designing my own clothes.
Oh,
That's something that I will be working on.
okay.
I want to design my own clothes. I can see myself doing it, being my own,
Okay.
just designing clothes, working with a team of different people and stuff. Because I'm always going back and forth to the fashion district and stuff. So, merchandise. It's, I tell you in business, especially when you're in business, it's a must that you go and
Okay.
see where you spending your money at.
True. True.
Or so I see myself in the next couple of years from now designing my own clothes. Boom.
Awesome, awesome. Now that was something I was interested in high school. I still like I'm trying to clean out all of my old stuff in my room, and I found a whole bunch of old sketches. So
Right.
we might need to talk about that too. Like I haven't picked up a pencil in a
Yeah.
while.
And I'm interested in sewing too, so I got that going on.
Okay, okay. What about you, Tanya? Uh, how far are you in your goals with your business and where you see you going?
I am currently working on starting another business. So I've hired myself as a PR client for that particular business. Um, and so I'm restructuring so that I can get back into doing more media appearances because I had kind of slacked off last year. And
Mhm.
I was kind of hunkered down during the pandemic with helping some of my clients transition. So now it's back to doing more for me, you know, catering more to my needs as a brand. So that's where I'm going and moving forward, looking to expand my PR clientele. I'm looking to do that like within like the next year. So with this new business launch, that's where I'm looking to go.
Okay. One last question. What type of clients do you handle? Is
Um, I'm niching down because I was doing entertainment, authors and coaches, and beauty brands. So I'm going to focus more on beauty brands, those that are in culinary, hospitality. Um, I still kind of want to do entertainment and music
I was look. I'm over here like, please make
because
us a payment.
because I love music. I mean, I've always been I've grown up around music all my life, so I'm still kind of like leaning towards doing that. Still taking
Yes, please,
entertainment clients,
please.
but
But please.
music and food, that's me.
Okay.
If I stand up, y'all be like, "Oh Lord!" So so I want to do, I want to be able to cater to the areas that I especially know the best. So
Okay.
that's where I'm looking to niche down a little bit more.
Good luck. Good luck. Now, Shanti, what about you? How are you in your goals? Where are you, and where do you plan to go with this?
As far as I can, it's fun. I plan on because the wholesale on getting different things like they also do hair clips,
Okay.
and then getting more into trying to promote the men's line a little bit more. Because when I
Oh, I
did
didn't even
event,
know they had one.
yes, they do. I sold about maybe 2 or 3 men's leather bracelets.
Yes.
Even though I didn't
Wow.
make that much at the event that I did last weekend, I had more inquiries about men's rings and
Mm,
bracelets and necklaces. Because there was more men coming to the table than women, so they was like, "Oh, I hope to see you again, and next time you have some more, for the fellas." Um, so it is an audience out there. At first, I had a hard time finding an audience. Like,
okay.
that's why, Chris, you don't see me when I do my lives. I don't promote it as much because it was kind of like crickets with it.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, it is an audience out here. I just have to go to different places, in the city, search out
Right.
more events, and order more men's inventory because I still do have some stuff left over. They have rings, and they have bracelets, and they have some necklaces too. Um, so yeah, just looking to expand that more, and also working on a business where it's not necessarily from a wholesale, but it's like me. So I want to make my
Oh,
own jewelry and t-shirt and accessory business. So I'm also going to
okay.
expand into doing that into the next year. I already had some stuff made. It's just that life kind of gets in the way, but I'm
Right.
motivated. I'm motivated. It's not a day that I'm not jotting down ideas and thinking of what I'm gonna do to get myself out there with the next thing because I already have the experience with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm loving the expansion and wanting to expand and keeping it going. I appreciate you guys for coming on and sharing your stories. I know I'm probably gonna have a part two of this. So if you guys want to join again, just let me
Absolutely.
know when. I'll
Absolutely.
definitely let you guys know about the upcoming topics and things like that. Go ahead and shout out where the people can find you on the internet, on these socials again, so they can know how to find you, for instance.
You can find me on Facebook, Chocolate Curd Boutique, Instagram, Chocolate Curd Boutique, TikTok, Chocolate Curd Boutique, and you also can come to my storefront here in Greenville, Mississippi, 1436 Highway 1 South, in the wonderful city of Greenville, Mississippi. You can always find me, always. Greenville, Mississippi. 36 Highway 1 South in the wonderful
Okay.
city of
I'm so
Greenville,
sorry.
Mississippi.
All right, Tanya, let the people know where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook, MJS Virtual Collaborative, and I just started my social media pages for my PR business. So you can also find me at MJS Communications, and on Facebook, and MJS Com PR on Instagram, as well as MJS _ virtual on Instagram, and also my website at mjsvirtualservices.com.
Awesome, awesome. And Shanti, let the people know where they can find you and your beautiful jewelry.
Okay, on Facebook, I have two pages. I have the Eye Candy Blingers VIP page, and then I have Eye Candy Blingers. That's just the business page. And on Instagram, which I did a couple of lives on, I'm still trying to feel my way around it. But anyway, I had to write it down because I can't remember it offhand. But my Instagram page is it's all lowercase, I_candy_bling_by_paparazzi. I know that's a lot, but they wouldn't let me do it any other way.
Right. Okay. Well, everybody, you can find me on YouTube. Kaylee the Boss is there. It's right there. Kaylee the Boss. Or you can find me on Facebook at official Kaylee. Instagram is official_Kaylee. If we haven't learned anything else from this live, we have learned to be consistent. We have learned to niche down, find your audience. We have learned also to just find your motivation, find what you love, and go for it. Don't give up. You have to keep yourself motivated. Anybody else want to add anything else, any tidbits? If not,
The future entrepreneur wants to say something. Go ahead, Mia. Go
hey
ahead.
Mia.
You're live with these ladies. What you want to say? You said me. Oh, okay. So she's my. Oh, she's gonna put it back to me.
Oh.
She said she wants to promote. She wants to promote mom. This is my number one fan and biggest supporter.
Awesome.
All for it. All for it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody go like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. Remember, Kaylee loves you.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.